Welcome back, everybody. Now, I'm really excited for this video because this is going to serve as the pilot to a new series on this channel. And this new series is going to be called The Collector Diaries. So what is this going to be about? So for those who don't know or you're new to the channel, I have been buying and selling collecting video games for over 10 years now. When I first got into collecting video games, I made a game out of it. I wanted to collect as much as I could without spending any money. So that means I would buy, say, an N64 bundle for $50. I would keep 3 games and resell everything else to get at least $50 back. That means I keep 3 games for free, essentially. And I did that for about 6 months of my first collecting and amassed a decent collection. That would have been around 2009, 2010. And keep in mind, at that time, I was 15 and working a minimum wage job, so I had way more time than I had money. Very quickly though, my passion for collecting far outgrew my want to keep games for $0. However though, I never stopped recording every purchase and every sale I've ever made. And that's what this new series is going to be. We are going to go through every purchase I have made over the years, starting in 2012. Because that's the first time I started using Excel. Before that, I was just working with pen and pencil. I mean, I was 15, cut me some slack, right? So what I want to do with this series is go through every year that I have been buying and selling video games. And you're going to see what I was doing in 2012, what I was doing in 2014, what prices were like in 2013, what my best purchases were, what some of my worst purchases were that I actually lost quite a bit of money on, and everything in between. I have some good stories, some bad stories, everything. This spreadsheet literally is my collecting diary. Let's get into the first episode of the Collector Diaries, 2012. Welcome to the spreadsheet, everybody. And you can see already that we're going to start in the month of September 2012 because everything prior to that I had done on pen and paper, and when I was young I was really lazy, so I didn't want to transfer all the data over into the Excel sheet. So you're just going to have to bear with this one. 2012 is going to be a cut year, but once we get to 2013, it'll be the full year of data and every year past that. So if you just look at the top here, you can see there are 3 column names. This is going to be what I paid for the item. This will be what I sold it for, how much I made or lost on the item. If I didn't sell anything, you'll see that there's a negative over here. And over here then, I'll put the item that I did keep. NA means I kept nothing from the purchase. So in 2012 here, I would have been 19, and at this point, I was looking to make at least $20 on any transaction that I actually did. So these games here, you're gonna see for $1 each, right? $2 each. I worked across the street from an EB Games, which is a Canadian version of GameStop. So every day on break or at lunch, I would head over to the EB Games and see if they got in any trades, because the GameCube, Xbox, and PS2 trade-ins were sold at 99 cents no matter what the game was. Duke Nukem 0 Hour, and this CB here means cartridge box. So you can see 14 bucks, and I would sell the cartridge, right, and just keep the box. That's the kind of stuff I was always doing. Digimon World 4, 5 bucks. You know, like, yeah, I'd buy it for 5 bucks and I would sell it for 15. Net $10, baby. $10 profit. This one's actually kind of crazy. This is Dusty Diamond All-Star Softball. I bought a new in-box one, so factory sealed, for $315 in 2012. $315 in 2012 sounds like a lot of money to pay for this. And you can see that I only sold it for $300, and I actually took a loss on it. This game, nobody wanted it. I don't know why I thought it was a good purchase at $315, but at some point I eventually just said, okay, I need to sell this, get my money back, and like look elsewhere. Okay, so I just brought up the eBay results on Dusty Diamond. Even in 85 plus condition, it is not worth $1,700, which is pretty surprising given everything else is selling for so much now. I assume a factory sealed one would sell for somewhere around $1,000 if this isn't selling for $1,700. I assume like this would get $1,000, but it just goes to show that like some games haven't appreciated much in 10 years. If I held on to this game for 10 years, like sure, right, 300 turned into 1,000, but like it didn't do that good, all things considered. Games like Dusty Diamond have really fallen out of flavor now. Bubble Bath Babes, this was a really good one. You can see that even in 2012, Bubble Bath Babes was already very expensive. I was able to sell that for $8.55 and net a very good profit there. Mega Man Legends 2. This was another waste of time. Just wasn't a good purchase. I paid too much and barely sold it for any more. A huge waste of time. Wind Waker new in box, $110. Even in 2012, Wind Waker was already an expensive GameCube title. I just sold this one too because it wasn't in gradable condition. It's kind of funny, right? You look back at that and right now you'd like to have a Wind Waker factory sealed in any condition, really. This Super Nintendo bundle had Wild Guns with it. I remember I was so excited to find it. I don't really collect Super Nintendo, so I was excited to sell it, right? It's one of those where $80 for this bundle and you can see how much I got out of it. But it looks like I actually kept NBA Jam and Kirby's Avalanche for some reason. I don't know. The amount of money I spent in September, what I got back, and what I profited or lost in September. Moving into October here, San Francisco Rush factory sealed. So these two Zelda Four Swords big boxes here are interesting. Out of Dubai, I bought 11 of the big box Zelda Four Swords on GameCube factory sealed. I expected this to be an incredible purchase because the seller said that they were all in near mint condition. So, naive 19-year-old me bought the order from Dubai, shipped them over to Canada, and when I opened up the box of 10 of them, guess what? They're in pretty shitty condition. Like, the boxes are all creased, everything's crushed, they aren't even gradable, they would have been like VGA 60 to 70 condition. So obviously I contacted the seller and said, look, these are in terrible condition, like, I need to do something with it. So what I did instead was I tried to fight him for a partial refund, because at that point my only option was, okay, I just need to get some money. I didn't want to push. There's the issue of also pushing the return to Dubai. To ship these items back to him would have cost me $200 maybe, because you need tracking on it. I need tracking and full insurance to Dubai. It was such a rookie move. But anyways, I was able to get back about $100 in partial refund, which obviously doesn't make up for it. But you can see that this one right here, I was able to grade in VGA 85, and I was able to sell that for 192, which is a complete waste of time. On the other 10 of them, I had to do 10 individual sales to get back $80 in profit. And I don't even know if that's accurate because this is 2012 recording. There's a very likely chance that I just lost money. I know for a fact that I graded at least 3 of these. So if you factor in $100 in grading, there goes everything. I spent hours on these and a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety to essentially break even. But that's just what you learn as you do this buying and selling. You're going to have shitty purchases. There's no way around it. It's going to happen to you, but it's how you deal with it, what you learn from it, and where you go from there that really matters more than just having one shitty purchase. Factory sealed Super Bowling on N64. This was already an expensive game as well. I was just able to sell this, make some money. Okay, and right here we can see now, we get into another big one. I didn't know 2012 was so eventful. We get into my first Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut that I ever bought. And I was able to buy this locally actually, which is pretty incredible. So you can see that I paid $750 for it, Canadian at the time. I sold my existing cartridge for $103. And I kept the box and manual. But I remember I was so excited to get it and also so nervous about spending $750 on a video game, especially because right here you can see I had already spent $1,300 on this huge waste of time. Well, I didn't know it was a waste of time, but I had already spent that much and then another $750, but I knew I had to make it work somehow. These Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi games on Wii were great flip items. I would always just make small local profits on these. Nothing special, but if I could just walk into my local pawn shop and make $11, that was worth it still. I guess I lied about $20 minimums. I was still doing $11 flips at the time. You gotta make it work. Gotta make it work. The more grinding, always gotta be grinding. Gotta be on your hustle. And 2012 is actually the first time I sent games off to be graded as well. This was a big trade I did where I acquired Sega 32X games and I traded away these PlayStation 2 and Xbox games. At the time, my thought was the Sega games are cardboard and PlayStation 2 is a DVD case. And if you watch my videos, you already know my thoughts on cardboard versus DVD cases. So even back as 2012, I was already prioritizing cardboard. This purchase here was for a lot of PlayStation 2 and PS1 RPGs. You can go ahead and read the titles here and you can see like Tactics Ogre was in here, Suikoden 1 and 2, Vandal Hearts 2, Final Fantasy 9, Karshia, and a lot of the games that I got from here I still have to this day. Like this is the copy of Tactics Ogre, Suikoden 1 and 2, still own those games, didn't sell them. Whenever I got the really big titles in really nice condition, I had a knack of holding on to them. You can see in October, I just spent a lot of money. I'm surprised I even had $3,700 to spend total. I made back a lot of it, but we took an $867 loss. But obviously now, right, in 2021, if you look at everything I kept for $800, it's like, oh no, you did great. But time is your friend. You have to let time pass so your purchases can appreciate in value. It's like any kind of investing, really. And you can see I bought Champions, Return to Arms, PlayStation 2, Factory Sealed, awesome title, $25. And I kept it, and I believe I sold the complete in-box copy for $23, because that was something I was always so huge on. If I could get a box, a manual, upgrade to Factory Sealed, if I could do any of those things for very nominal costs, I was always willing to buy the additional copy, sell the one I already owned, and upgrade. The Master Quest bundle, Factory Sealed, It must not have been in gradable condition. It hurts me to look at that and see that I sold it for $77. This one was a huge purchase here that I remember. This was an elderly couple actually who put up the GameCube listing, and I was on it within minutes. And I remember even when I got to the house to pick it up, they were saying, oh, some people want to buy these Cubivore games from us. Is it an expensive one or something? And, you know, me being, 19 I just like, oh, I don't know. You know, just playing it off the best I could. But this is still the copy of Cubivore that I own to this day. Luckily, I already had copies of Sunshine Double Dash, so I was able to sell those right here to recoup all of the money and just keep everything else, really. Halo, new in box, Xbox, Black Label. A Black Label Halo. $42. And I sold it for $63. I actually didn't know I owned Halo. I forgot. I wonder why I didn't keep it. I have to assume it was in bad condition, but holy shit, that one's tough. I bought a factory sealed Power Punch 2 for $39. Power Punch 2 was available for so long, for so cheap. There were cases of it. It was a case available game. Now it's not, but there's a lot of mint ones floating around out there. And you can see that it graded VGA 90 and I sold it for $465. And that was incredible at the time. Like, this sale was an anomaly. This shouldn't have happened. Someone paid too much for that, is the only way I can describe that sale. But I was ecstatic. This is another crazy one. If you just pause and read all of the games here that I got in this bundle for $340, they were all in fantastic condition, and I was able to keep so many of these. And I was already really big into complete in box N64 collecting, so a lot of these were upgrades for me. I got better boxes, better cartridges, and then I was able to sell off the ones I already owned and recoup all of the money again. So it was just such a good purchase, because you can see that I sold off $445 from it and still kept all of this stuff over here. 2012 is a banger year, holy shit. And you can see in November, barely spent anything because I spent $3,700 the month prior, so this month we just slowly made a little bit of money back. And this is going to be the last month here for 2012. Let's see what the hell I was doing. I remember I bought these DotHack games because the DotHack games were some of the most expensive on PlayStation 2, and everyone was talking about them being the rarest games on the console. I bought it raw and then it graded 85+. I bought it raw, graded VGA 90. I think I still own this DotHack. I would need to go check. Another really good PS1, PS2 bundle. And you can see again here where I sold a little bit, but I was just more focused on keeping good games at this time. So right here again is another purchase where I bought the raw versions and that's what they graded to. So we got VGA 90 Vagrant Story, VGA 90 Parasite Eve, we got Kingdom Hearts 2 that I don't think I graded yet, but I still own, and Dark Cloud 2 VGA 85+. And out of these, unfortunately, I didn't keep Vagrant Story or Parasite Eve. I sold both of them. And instead, I kept Dark Cloud 2 and Kingdom Hearts 2. Which Kingdom Hearts 2 is pretty good now, all things considered, but it just doesn't really matter now when you look at where we're at. Forza Motorsport, no value at all. Factory sealed ones are $10. Tetris Evolution, I probably bought 15 times over the years because EB Games sold it for $4. I could sell it on eBay for 16 and just make myself $10, right? PGA European Tour N64, factory sealed for $15. I remember I had such a hard read on this game being rare. Back when no one gave a shit about it, I was buying it up because it just didn't exist. If you were actually following the N64 market, this game was not available. When I got it for $15, I was so happy. And the last purchase of 2012, we got Metroid Prime 2 Echoes factory sealed, which graded 85+. Mario Kart Double Dash factory sealed, which I don't own anymore, so that's super shitty. I didn't grade it. Don't know why. Resident Evil Outbreak File 2, it graded 85+, and God of War 2. And if we look over here, I held on to the God of War 2, which yes, I do still own to this day, and the Metroid Prime 2, which I do still own in 85+. But holy shit, do I wish I still had the Mario Kart Double Dash. So I sold the Double Dash and the Outbreak File 2 for $224. Great. Just great to see. And in 2012, just from, what was that, September to December, I spent $7,400, had $7,500 come back to me. Overall, basically a break-even year. And you can see all the shit that was kept in between. So overall, very successful 2012. These numbers in the spreadsheet take about 3 years to finalize because I'm still doing sales well after this. Like, if I buy a game in 2012, I might grade it in 2014 and sell it in 2015 in some instances. And I wish on my spreadsheet I would have put the date sold so that I could better compare about when I first purchased it versus when I sold it. As is, it's basically me trying to remember when I bought them versus when I sold them. And yeah, these are the numbers for 2012. That's how much I was buying, selling, and what I was up to. If you don't already record your purchases and you want to try and do this seriously, start recording everything. You have to track your finances. That goes for both personal life and just for your hobby. You have to track your finances. You just get so much further ahead. Anyways, hopefully that was interesting to you guys. Like I said, I'm slowly going to work through every year of this spreadsheet. I might have to cut full years into 2 parts. We'll see how it goes. But if you have any suggestions for it, if you have any comments about it, please let me know. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing it, and I hope you enjoyed it, because it's a lot of fun for me to go through this spreadsheet after so many years. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Oh my god. Okay. Crises averted. I found the original email here of the sale, and it looks like it was a Game of the Year edition. Don't worry, guys. We didn't fucking blow it. We didn't blow it on this one.